I'm sitting in here and I'm thinking, uh, and what I'm about to say is going to inflame a lot of people, but it's nothing but the painful truth. Children are innocent, right? Right? That's my son there. Children are innocent, and uh, he's going to experience in life people that just because of who he is are going to mistreat him. And as he goes older, he's going to have to learn how to deal with that. But at this point in time, he's innocent. And so, therefore, if someone mistreats my son, uh, I'm responsible to ensure that justice is administered. Okay, give me 1 second, okay? Okay. All right, go ahead and play. I'll put you on a zip line. But it's my responsibility to administer justice. And it's interesting, we live in a society where people want to mistreat those that are innocent. But the problem is that you do not have the right or the authority to, how can I say, dictate how someone is going to respond to that mistreatment of children. We're living in a society today where our young daughters are growing up being molested. Our young sons are growing up being molested, all in the black family. I mean, and this is just the truth. I mean, we know story after story after story after story of people that are out there that has had their innocence taken away from them. And once their innocence is taken away from them, I mean, it's sad to see, because victims become victims. Victims make victims. Why is it that someone goes and molests somebody? Because they was molested themselves. It's just this vicious cycle that takes place. So when we're dealing with these uncomfortable truths that take place, no one has the ability to dictate how I'm going to respond if someone harms me and my family. And this is why I say this is modern day warfare. I don't give a rat's ass how big you are, how tough you think you are. I can touch you, and I can touch you and your family. Because, see, people don't understand. No one is going to dictate to me how I'm going to respond to them or their family if they harm me or my family. Hey, you take it the way you want it, but that's just the truth. But when we get into the time where we are adults and we can defend ourselves and we can make choices and decisions to ensure that we deal with injustices that are being perpetuated on ourselves in a righteous manner. Now, again, people have the right to respond any way, shape, or form that they want to respond. Yes. I said wait. I said wait. Okay? So we have a right to respond. Okay? Now, sometimes if someone aggresses towards you, you can aggress back towards them, or you can walk away, never to put yourself in that situation. These are things that you can do, right? Me personally, if someone aggresses towards me, I'm going to take their hand. I'm going to literally remove themselves. If somebody aggresses towards me, because, see, when you aggress towards me, you aggress towards my family, because I am the sole responsible. I'm the provider for my family. So if you threaten me and you threaten my livelihood, or you threaten my ability to provide for my family, I'm going to do the same thing to you, because I think that that's justice. Now, again, there's not a preacher, teacher, policeman, judge, anybody that's going to tell me how I'm going to respond. Now, may there be consequences? Sure. Because we live in a wicked ass society where you can't stone the transgressor. So that's why I'm going to make sure that my response is going to be so horrific and so dramatic that it's going to send shockwaves. I'm going to make international news. Let me tell you. And see, this is why you always should seek terms of peace. But everybody has a right to respond to things how they respond to them. This is why you should always make sure that you're careful of how you deal with other people's money and how you deal with their family, because I don't know how somebody's going to respond, right? So getting on to how people are mistreated today, right? You have a situation where somebody is over you, whether it's a boss or a pastor or elder or a chief or whoever it may be, and they mistreat you. You have the right to walk away. You don't have to stay in a situation where somebody is mistreating you and dealing with you treacherously, right? You have a right to walk away. And if you don't walk away, guess what? Everything that happens from that point on is on you. Yeah, it's on you. It's on you. Like, hey, I don't have a right to just go up to my wife and just punch her in the face. I don't have the right to do that, right? She has a right to walk away, or she has a right to stay. But at the end of the day, hey, there's a choice and decision that needs to be made, right? So at the end of the day, ultimately, hey, I don't have a right to mistreat anybody, and no one has a right to mistreat me. But at the same time, hey, I can walk away. And when you don't walk away from people that are just blatantly mistreating you because you fear, because see, this is the thing, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the spirit of fear of rejection, fear that isolation, fear of someone may take away our livelihood, or hey, I've been there, done that. I remember in a situation where I was working for a job, and clearly, this guy was just racist type shit, right? So, hey, I filed a complaint, and I knew what would happen because I have an HR background, so I knew exactly what would happen. But I followed the process. You know what I'm saying? I got treated bad for like a month or whatever through the HR review and everything. But I knew I'd get my little severance. I knew I'd get my little unemployment, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to deny me the unemployment by making me quit instead of firing me. Because if you make somebody quit, then you don't have to give them unemployment. But if you fire them, you have to give them unemployment. So you better believe Pennsylvania is the highest. You get the highest unemployment in Pennsylvania, I think, in the nation. And that was like 10, 12 years ago or 13 years ago that took place. But ultimately, you are responsible for your health, safety, and well-being. And if somebody else is mistreating you, I don't care what position that they're in, they don't have a right to do that. And you have a right to walk away. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to deal with the repercussions of doing that due to the simple fact that they are filled with the spirit of fear. They're cowards at the end of the day. Why would I put myself in a situation, let alone myself and my family, my wife and my children, in a situation where I'm constantly being mistreated, devalued, made to feel as though I'm less than a man, or less than or my wife is less than a woman. Why would I do that? What's going on psychologically there that a person would endure such wickedness? And I tell you what it is: fear, low self-image, follower spirit, lack of integrity, lack of belief in oneself, low self-image, I can go on and on and on and on. This is why I never trust such an individual. I never trust such an individual. Um, Let me tell you, man, sometimes you just got to separate. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. In a case where you are protecting the innocent, your children, or you're protecting yourself. Hey, you just heard the painful, unadulterated truth.